Oh boy, it's that time again. We have some more Sonic news to get our hopes up and then be disappointed too, so let's just cut right to the chase. Long story short, more Sonic remasters and remakes are in the works. The president of Sega of Japan recently went on record saying that while they are working on new titles for the Sonic series, they are also working on new remakes and reboots. This is great because despite having a huge catalog of 3D games, Sonic is kind of a stranger to remakes and remasters outside of the classic era. We had Sonic Origins somewhat recently that gave us quote-unquote remasters of the 4 original classic Sonic games, and I think it's pretty much common knowledge by now how that turned out, so I won't go into too much detail there. But I feel like a lot of people just forgot about Colors Ultimate, which came out a couple of years ago, and for good reason. This was, and still is, an absolutely terrible remaster. The number of bugs and glitches, the controversy with the music remixes in the DLC, and the graphics don't even look that good. It's crazy to me how they managed to screw this up because Sonic Colors is a generally well-received Sonic game. It is theorized that a lot of what went wrong with Colors Ultimate was due to the outside developer they brought in for this project, Blind Squirrel Games. So I feel like for future remasters they should either A, not try to overhaul the games in different engines, and B, not bring in outside developers if possible. So since more ports and remasters are seemingly on the way, let's see what games they could remaster. So let's just get the big one out of the way. Sonic Unleashed. I and everyone else have been highly anticipating a Sonic Unleashed remaster or just a PC port for years. And while there has been absolutely no sign of one happening anytime soon, Sega must know that we all want this, right? There have been theories of internal reasons why they can't port the game, like they don't have the rights to the engine or they lost the source code, you know, stuff like that. Thankfully, we already have a way to play Sonic Unleashed in 60 FPS officially, but I dream of playing this game at 4K 60 FPS. You know what I don't want though? A Sonic Heroes remaster. In case you didn't know, I don't really like Sonic Heroes, so I wouldn't really appreciate it if they chose to remaster this game over something like Unleashed, or any other good Sonic game. Also, the engine that Heroes was built on is no longer supported, so it would take a lot of effort to make a port of this game. And since this game is already not that enjoyed by many Sonic fans and the general audience especially, then I don't think a port of this game is very likely. I do, however, think a modern port of Sonic Lost World is more than likely at this point. Just think about it. Lost World was such a short and simple game to the point where I feel like Sega would look at it as a good entry point to the series, similar to how they treated Colors with Colors Ultimate. If they do port this game though, I wouldn't really mind it, but there are definitely better options. Since this game is already on PC, I don't think there's really much they could do for a port of the game. The same goes for Sonic Generations. If they make an Ultimate version of the game, then how will that affect the already existing PC version? In Sonic Generations' case, I think it would benefit from an Ultimate version just because of how much potential that game had. There were so many different zones that they could have added through DLC, but they just didn't for some reason. The modding community made this more apparent than ever. Countless level mods have been made for this game and they're really good. But that brings up another issue. If they make a new version of Generations, then that means completely new mods would have to be made for it, completely throwing away the thousands of creations that people have worked so hard on. This wouldn't be an issue though, as long as they keep up the original version of Generations along with the new and improved Ultimate version, but that's probably not likely to happen. When Sonic Origins dropped, they delisted Sonic 1, 2, 3, and CD from Steam. Even though the standalone version of CD was miles better than its Origins counterpart, they got rid of it. So now you have to buy Origins to play any of those games. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same with Generations, even if the new version is worse in every way. This is really my main problem with remasters and that kind of thing. If there's already a version on PC, then I think the whole Deluxe or Ultimate Edition treatment is very unnecessary. Adding new content is fine, but just make it a free update to the already existing PC version, or just sell it as DLC. I know that's very unlikely because the more money the better, right? But I think it would be a good solution for games that already have modern versions. But what about Sonic games that aren't on PC yet? Oh yeah, we're going there. There are so many Sonic games that I would love to see get remasters or even put into collections. The Sonic Advance games, for example. These games were never added to any collection and they were never officially ported. The only official way to play these games is on original hardware. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I am not the biggest fan of the Sonic Advance trilogy, but I just think preserving Sonic's huge backlog is an important thing to do. And who knows, if these games get ported, then maybe improvements will come with them. But you know what games I do like? The Sonic Rush series. Oh man, I love me some Sonic Rush. Both games have been exclusive to the DS, and like Advance, they definitely have issues that would need to be improved with ports. But despite their flaws, I still really love these games, and I would be first in line to buy remasters of them. Also, Sonic Rush adventurers better cry about it. But what about full-on remakes? See, there's actually a difference between a remaster and a remake. Remasters generally build off of the original game, like updating the visuals and adding extra content, that kind of thing. Remakes, on the other hand, are complete reworks of the games, where they're rebuilt from the ground up. Some remakes even change up the original game's story. We don't talk about those. Now, Sonic is kind of a stranger to remakes. The more I think about it, I don't think there has ever been a Sonic remake. So if any games deserve to get remade, then it's definitely Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. These games have already gotten countless remasters, and even with those upgraded visuals, they still show their age. A lot. Just imagine complete reimaginings of these games with new models, updated music, and the whole 9 yards, man. It would be awesome. Even though they've been rumored for years on end, I don't think remakes are very likely, especially considering that SA1 and 2 would benefit much more from just being ported to modern hardware, but I would love to see them. Anyway, that's going to end off this video. I just wanted to discuss the possibility of some Sonic remakes and remasters, and I hope you all enjoyed it. So as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.